What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Hillside Club. I'm James Martin III. Sitting alongside me is Rob Cardini, and this is where there are no hot takes, just real ones. And guys, great weekend of sports. The Masters just wrapped up yesterday. I mean, really nothing like it. There's really nothing like it in sports. There's really nothing like it in the golf world. There's a reason why, people love the Masters, and it was a great tournament. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy going back to back. You know, he now joins Jack Nicklaus, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods as the only guys to ever go back to back in the Masters or at Augusta. So, you know, that's incredible, an incredible feat for him, and just a great weekend in all.
Yeah, no, a lot of sports are heating up. This is, I think we talked about last week, one of the best stretches in sports as a whole. Went from March Madness to the Masters, NBA, NHL playoffs are getting going. You got MLB regular season before you know it. The World Cup will be here as well. But yeah, congrats to Rory to go back to back. Fourth player to ever do it. Just an absolutely amazing feat. And he did his thing. He had the largest 36-hole lead ever. It looked like there was a chance he was going to blow it, but he settled back in on the second 9, and he started his round 2 over, and then he made four birdies and got the lead back. And from then on out, it was kind of just smooth sailing for him until the 18th, where he made bogey, but he already had the lead, so he can make 5 and still win, just like Tiger did back in 2019. So when you have that cushion, you can kind of address the hole a little bit differently. I think if he only has a one-shot lead there, he probably hits 3-wood off the tee instead of driver. But regardless, congrats to Rory. Some people are upset with the fact that he practiced Augusta a bunch in the weeks leading up to the Masters instead of playing in other tournaments. I don't know. I have no problem with that. I wasn't really like rooting for Rory to win this year. Last year, I thought, he's got to get this green jacket. This year, I wanted to see someone else. I picked Cameron Young on the podcast last week. I was rooting hard for Cameron Young. I also really wanted to see Justin Rose get the green jacket. I think he's very deserving of that. But nonetheless, all this around how he gets to practice and, that's an unfair advantage. Well, he's won the tournament there. I'm sure any past winner can go do that if they really want to and choose to. I just think guys don't do that. He did, and it clearly worked out for him because experience always matters at Augusta. You can kind of just see down the stretch, even after starting his round 2 over, he kind of just settled back in because of his experience and the other guys there. You look at Cameron Young not having that experience, really having a lead on Sunday at the Masters. Putter failed him. Talked about how he made an adjustment with his putter last year, and it's been lights out ever since. His putter was not good on Sunday. I mean, the amount of putts he missed, and no one really just put any real pressure on Rory on the second 9. If you were to tell all the guys in the field that were in contention and Rory that after the 13th hole, Rory would par every single hole and then bogey 18, I think Rory would be very nervous based on, where everybody was at, and everybody else in the field would have been ecstatic to hear that. But no one took advantage of it. So, Rory did what he had to do. It kind of felt like everybody else was just trying to lose the tournament. Scottie made a late push.
Well, honestly, Scottie, the first ever bogey-free weekend at the Masters, which is insane. I mean, if he had just made that last putt there on 18, we would have seen a playoff between Rory and Scottie. And I said it before. I texted, I knew Rory was going to give us a bogey down the stretch here. I wonder if it's going to make it interesting. And it wasn't, because he had already won the tournament by the time he basically got to 18, obviously barring any mistake that he had made. But, I mean, yeah, I feel like Cam Young didn't really lose to Rory. He lost to Augusta, and just like that second 9, the putting for him, I don't know. It felt like he was losing momentum, right? And I don't know. I mean, the front 9, it seemed like we were going to get in like a generational second 9 down the stretch. Like it literally felt like this was going to be box office, which the Masters always is. And I don't know, but like, again,
no, I know what you mean. It felt like there was a chance that we could have seen, like a 3-person playoff, which would have been insane for the Masters. Obviously, we got playoff last year when Rory won, but it felt like there's a chance that it could be 3 people in a playoff this year. But I don't know. I just think there were just certain moments over the course of that second 9. I think about, number 12, Rory hits a fantastic tee shot. Cameron Young honestly responds with a great tee shot of his own. Young doesn't make the putt. Rory does. Then you go to 13. Young, him and Rory are both in the same spot on green side. Rory putts. Cam chips. Cam ends up being away. Doesn't make the putt. Rory does. Like he didn't capitalize on those moments. For Justin Rose, 13, incredible second shot into the green. And he blows the eagle putt past the hole and misses the birdie putt coming back. Like that is an absolute killer swing for him. And then Scottie, obviously you brought up, that putt he missed on 17 by an inch. If he makes that and he's only trailing Rory by 1, you never know what happens. A lot of people felt, I saw this, a lot of people were talking about on X about how they felt that Scottie's momentum got killed on 13. When his playing partner Lee went in the trees for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was tough.
You would never know because, it didn't get shown a lot, which is another whole topic of the Masters this year, was that a lot of people were upset with the coverage overall. I don't know what you thought about the coverage, but
yeah, actually, over the weekend on, I think it was Saturday, a few of our buddies, we went to go watch it, just the Masters. I'm trying to turn it on the TV. And first of all, you go on Paramount Plus, and it's like, oh, you got to upgrade to get the final round or the third round's coverage. And then if you want to see the full thing, go on to CBS. And if it's a smart TV, you don't have CBS, that sucks. But with the way TV is right now, you got to have a bunch of streaming services as well as your cable television, right? But then you go, oh, it's on Amazon Prime now. So then you go on Amazon Prime, and then you're on Prime, and you want to watch either, the featured groups, or you want to watch a certain hole, the Amen Corner. It's upgrade, or put in your Paramount Plus, or buy Paramount Plus with Amazon, or get this free trial. And it's just like, I mean, come on. I think the easiest I had it watching the Masters all weekend was just on my computer, just throwing it up on the laptop on themasters.com. So that was honestly the most refreshing thing, was just being able to turn it on your computer and not have to worry about going through all those different sites. But literally just trying to get it on the TV, especially how, at 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock, it went from being on Prime or being on Paramount Plus to then going over to CBS. And just a lot of switching between channels for no reason. However, I think that's the least of our worries, just because of how clean the Masters is, right? Like I talked about a little bit last week. Just the fact that there are barely any commercials, and then the fact that there's also no sponsors and ads everywhere you look, I think that takes away from the whole going through and having to switch from streaming service to streaming service. But I understand why people are upset. Yeah. However, we deal with so much in the rest of sports, I think we can, suck it up for a weekend.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that, the other stuff can kind of help take away from it. I think, honestly, more of the pushback was less about the streaming sites, which definitely sucks, but you can deal with it. I think more of it was just the actual, on-course coverage, where there were so many drives where there was no tracking of the golf ball. They have the technology. You might as well use it, where you would just see, the golfer in his swing, and then you had to kind of guess, is this a good drive based off their reaction, the crowd's reaction? I felt like there were a lot of times where they just wouldn't show a shot and then they'd come back to it later. Sam Burns, who was in the second to last group, blew up on the second hole, and you didn't see any of it until after. It was full replay. And that happened a few times, and Scottie had a birdie putt on 2, and it never got shown on TV. And then they just cut to 3T, and he's still at, I think it was 8 under at that point. So you're like, oh, I guess he didn't make the putt. So I don't know. There was definitely, it was weird. I think a lot of people were joking about how they saw the kid, that commercial with the kid who's on FaceTime, I think with his grandpa, and he's swinging. And he said they saw him hit more shots than people on the actual course. Also, the amount of times they cut to Rory's club back in, wherever he's from, and those kids was ridiculous. I'm sorry, I couldn't care less about their reaction to every shot Rory hits. We know they're going to get excited when he makes a birdie and hits a good shot. Enough of them, keep showing the golf. But regardless, the Masters still the best tournament in golf, I think, hands down. I already can't wait for the next one, because now, we know how Rory kind of addresses the Masters. Can he go? He's going for 3 in a row. Can he do it? I don't think he will. I also didn't think he was going to go back to back.
Wow.
Yeah, if he finds a way to go
back to back to back.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
absolutely insane. I think someone else will get it though. That's just so hard.
I feel really bad. I mean, I feel for Justin Rose, man. Like, he's on that trophy 3 times in second place, right? He's almost becoming like the almost guy. And it felt like he had a lot of momentum there going into the second 9. He was on a birdie train. And oh my gosh, for his legacy, I don't know. It kind of sucks because he had a lot of momentum. But I don't know, man. Augusta, it does this all the time. It kind of separates guys, just emotionally and not just skill-wise. You got to stay composed. And that's what you want out of the greats in sports. That's what you want out of the biggest events, the biggest stages, is you got to be composed down the stretch. And the Masters and Augusta are going to challenge you like no other golf course will. So, I mean, Rory stayed mentally tough down the stretch, and that's stuff we haven't seen from him in the past. So that was pretty awesome. But going back to what you kind of spoke about the Masters tournament, so I picked this up from, I think it was Everyday Golf, right? Or Ways to Golf. They tweeted last week, for the rest of your life, and I'm going to put it up here on the screen, for the rest of your life, you're only able to watch one. Which one are you choosing? And on side A, they have the Masters, PGA Championship, the President's Cup, and the Players. And then on side B, they have the U.S. Open, the Ryder Cup, and Waste Management Tournament. Which side are you going to watch for the rest of your life if you had to choose?
It's side A. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It has the Masters, the PGA Championship. The Players is considered the fifth major in the sport. I'm not the biggest fan of the Open. I'm not the biggest fan of this links golf. I always feel, especially for us, it's early. I feel like the weather's always bad. It's not the most pleasing watch. It's always a good tournament. Losing the Ryder Cup kind of sucks, but the U.S. doesn't win that anyway. And watching the Waste Management Open, I don't feel like that's like a great tournament to watch.
Honestly, there is one thing.
Honestly, I feel like they could have maybe picked a better tournament for the simple. Yeah, exactly. Being there is one thing. Like never being able to go there, okay, that would suck. But just watch it.
I think that counts though.
I guess.
I don't know. I'd argue.
I think the Masters just
if you could,
anyway.
If you could move all 3, the PGA Championship, President's Cup, and the Players over to side B, and it was just the Masters on side A, I might still stick with side A. That's how much I love the Masters.
Yeah, that's not.
It's a different level. Again, I speak about how refreshing it is to watch it. Like, you can put all 3 of those on the other side, and it's just the Masters versus those 7 tournaments. And I think it's still an argument for me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would say, only the Masters. I think a lot of people would say, I only get the Masters. But you put like one more, like the Players with the Masters, I think people would still take side A. So, yeah, definitely not a crazy take. But yeah, like I said, already excited for next year. I'm sure it's just, also, I think the past like 6 tournaments now, outside of Dustin Johnson's COVID year tournament, like the winners have either finished 10, 11, or 12 under. So they're saying, the Masters kind of, they got their conditions down pat where they know what they're going to get out of the winner, which is, I don't know how people feel about that. I think it's pretty like cool in a way. I think that's a good number to get to in a golf tournament. I think it's like not overly scoring, but it's not overly difficult. Like when you think about it, it's still those par 5s on the second 9 that really win the tournaments. If you can take advantage of those, that seems to be, what's winning these guys tournaments. But another great Masters in the books. Congrats to Rory.
Yeah. And then I think just to wrap up our Masters talk, we got 3 questions here. We'll go question for question.
Okay.
All right. So first one, would you rather hit every fairway all year or 2-putt every green?
I would say 2-putt, just based off, my game. I think just because I don't think hitting every fairway, that doesn't guarantee I hit every green in regulation. So once I get on the green, knowing that I can 2-putt every single time, I would take a 2-putt every single time. I don't think that's. I personally think 3 putts kill more of my rounds than not being able to hit the fairway.
I was gonna say you hit a lot of greens, and if you don't hit a green, you're just off the green.
Yeah.
So your chipping will save you.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to 2-putt can literally save a round. Yeah. Every single green, if I could 2-putt, again, like if I'm missing a green, I'm missing it just off. It's not gonna be terribly. Hitting a fairway would be nice every single time, but again, that doesn't guarantee you hit the green every single time. And again, everyone knows short game is what gets you better, gets your scores lower. All right, then the second question.
All right, so we got, would you rather birdie the first 17 holes of your round, then go 17 over on the last hole to shoot even par, or make 18 straight pars?
I would be livid if I had to go 17 birdies and then found a way to go like 17 over. I think I would be livid. I'd rather just go 18 straight pars because I would never be able to live with it, the fact that I went 17 over on the 18th. I genuinely would probably stop golfing for a few years after that. I don't know. Like, I would lose my mind. 18 pars, you walk off that course feeling like I can play with the best of the best. But then at 17 birdies and then all your momentum, that could kill your week, kill your year.
Yeah, I see both sides. I mean, 18 pars, like, that's an insanely good round to just be that steady the whole time. But also, you could look at it from the sense of, like, if I made 17 birdies and you were cooking, you could just say, okay, I only had one blow-up hole. Like, I know what's out there now.
Blow-up hole? It's a nuke.
That's
a world-ending hole.
Definitely a nuke. But I can see both answers. And then the last question is, would you rather play around with no woods or no wedges?
I feel like I know the answer for you.
I would say no woods.
Yeah. Right now, my hybrids and my fairway woods have been pissing me off. And then even my driver. It's hard to really get your driver down when you're hitting on a simulator, and especially for us because it's the off season, the winter. No wedges is tough.
Yeah.
Because you need it. Again, if you don't hit the green, or if you hit a great drive to the point where you're within 100 yards, 120 yards, a wedge in changes your round.
To think that you'd have to hit like 9-iron, like little like bump and runs for every single chip, and then what happens when you're in a bunker? You got to open up the face of a 9-iron.
Absolutely not.
I would go no woods, and just, I mean, it's gonna make it a very long day off the tee. You're gonna have to play like a low 4-iron the whole day off the tee, which is not ideal.
Used to that though.
I did used to do that for a while when I just literally couldn't figure out my driver, but that is it's draining because every strike with your iron has to be good. Otherwise, you are so far back from the hole. And then you end up hitting 4-iron to 4-iron, which most people can't even hit anyway, which I don't hit them great either. I just had to deal with it for a little while. But just saying, like, long irons, no one really hits them well anyway. So, I'd go no woods still, though, because wedges are just so important around the green.
All right, well, there goes our Masters talk. We're going to stick to the conversation of ball striking in a way, transition from sport to sport. We're going to go from golf to baseball. And we're going to start with our New York Yankees. A lot of talk going on in the New York sports media. I'm sure there's a lot of talk going on in that organization right now. The Yankees just got swept over the weekend by the Rays after dropping 2 out of 3 to the A's last week in New York.
Where do the Yankees? Where do the Rays play again? They play in Tampa? In a dome, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it was a cold weather issue for the Yankees.
Another thing, right? They start a series tonight versus the Angels. I mean, back-to-back series L's, and they're on a 5-game losing streak. The offense right now is so ice cold. It makes me almost speechless. This is again, we talked about it last week. This is the team that the whole organization, players, GM, coaches, managers, everyone's talking about running it back, right? They're running it back. I don't understand how you come out starting a season like this. And yes, everyone can say, oh, they started the season 7-2, right? A 5-game losing streak to 2 teams that I don't think you're supposed to be scared of in any sense, right? I mean, the Yankees have guys hitting with a 0 at the front of their batting average. A leadoff guy who can't crack 200.
I mean, they got 2 guys in the lineup who literally don't have a hit this year, who got decent playing time over the course of a series. I'm already over them. I really am. Like I'm so tired of coming on here and even just making videos talking about how just annoyed I am with the Yankees, because at this point I just probably look like the biggest, most miserable hater in the history of Yankees fans. And I don't want to come across as that. Like, I don't want to just be seen as some miserable person, but it's just like, yeah, sorry that I didn't buy into the hype this year. Like in years past, I always was like, all right, this is a different lineup. You know, things can go different. You know, you just got to get into the playoffs, see what happens. No, I'm so over it. It's been 9 years running with this team. This lineup is arguably the worst one. I'm just sick of it. I really am. Like, I don't even want to like talk about them anymore. Like the comments you hear from Jazz about, oh, I'm not a cold weather guy. Well, that's great because you went down to Florida and you still stunk. And not to mention the playoffs are in the cold. So that's a great, just what an intelligent comment that was. Then you got this whole thing about, about the whole double play thing. If I go to there, if I get him in time, does the run still count? Some people were saying he was trolling. Some people were saying he was dead serious. Aaron Boone says he's not dumb. That's the consensus out of that. I mean, again, Aaron Judge, he's starting a little slow, but I'm never going to worry about Aaron Judge just because he will always pick it up. And, you know, he can't have he can't have MVP years every single season, but I'm sure he'll pick it up and get going. Had a home run in yesterday's game. Bellinger playing solid. Stanton still doing his thing. Shout out Ben Rice.
Rob's cousin.
Yeah.
Or Rob's twin.
Rob's twin. My twin, Ben Rice. That I will never stop cheering for. He is absolutely crushing it. Team
He's
MVP so far. Everyone else can go take a hike as far as I'm concerned. Just, again, same thing as I said last week. The team sucks for the most part. I mean, it's just terrible baseball. You just watch these at-bats are uncompetitive. They don't even win challenges. I don't know. Some of the pitches they challenge are so bad. I don't know what they need to do. I think I told James, I'm not caring at all until they bring up Dominguez and Lombard. If I see that, I'll see a little what's the word I'm looking for here?
Spark.
A little, like, I'm not even from the players itself. I'll see something from the organization side that, okay, we're willing to make a change and try to change something in this lineup. And like you said, get a spark. So if I see that, then I'll be a little bit more bought in. Until then, I couldn't care less what they do. If they lose every game, I won't be surprised because this lineup is just terrible right now. Absolutely terrible. But, you know, I think we'll get to in our clubhouse call-out section, but I think someone talked about, you know, who the Yankees should get at the deadline. The deadline, we are in April. We're in April, and this is what we're already have our eyes set on. Who should they get at the deadline for this lineup? Like, no, this is why. And when people say, oh, who did you want the Yankees to get over the offseason? Somebody figure something out. You got Randall Grichuk in there, 0 hits. Ascara, your backup catcher, 0 hits. I mean,
no, it's bad. It's really bad,
dude.
And it's not like the AL is extra. It's very competitive right now, or the AL East is very competitive. Like there's a 3-way tie at the top. But I mean, Dominguez might not be the answer. Lombard might not be the answer. Spencer Jones, he might not be the answer. But it's a spark. It starts somewhere. And like Rob said, it shows that the organization is trying to change something in the lineup, right? Because right now, I'm sure there's a lot of worried faces looking around at each other. Like, I mean, this is the lineup that we thought was, you know, can go to the World Series. That's essentially what they told fans when they ran it back with this series, right? They believed in this lineup. I mean, it's early. A 5-game losing streak, it's not the end of the world. But when you speak to the media the way that they do, right? When everyone is, it's calm, everything is good at the Yankees right now. Everything is all right, right? Like we're gonna run it back. We're not gonna go make any moves. I mean, the pitching has been great to start the year. This offense is so cold that, like, I don't even know if they can find a way to move forward with this. No,
a starter gives up, 3 runs right now for the Yankees. You feel like the game's over.
It's over.
I mean, that's insane. I mean, I don't know.
And you look around the league, right? You look at the teams that do win games, right? The teams that do win World Series, like the Dodgers.
My gosh.
They play a little bit of small ball. They win games.
What I would do for a lineup like the Dodgers,
man. But you go looking back, like a game where they lose, they'll put up 3 runs, right? But they win games putting up runs, like versus the Rangers. They had an 8-run game. They had a 6-run game, right? Like, that's what you got to do. A 14-run game versus the Blue Jays. You got to be able to put up more than 2 or 3 runs. A little bit of small ball, a few power hitters. I mean, that's what wins World Series. That's what wins regular season series throughout the season. What the Yankees have going on right now, and I know it's the New York media always going to blow things out of proportion, but I think it's that serious. I really do, especially with the way that they responded to the media and the outburst from New York Yankee fans over the offseason. I think it's a pathetic start to the season, if I'm going to be completely honest. But Hey,
yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully they turn around.
8-2 start was
Yeah.
to me that was just all smoke and mirrors.
I mean, you called it. You said the same thing last year happened, right? Like,
yeah, but the
that
first
Brewers
weekend
series where
now,
they were just
the fall off wasn't this quick last year, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Dodgers still doing their thing. The Braves look good to start the year. Even the Pirates, big. I got the Pittsburgh Penguins jersey on, but I'm not a Pirates guy. But the Pirates are starting the year off pretty well. 9-6. I don't know. Just like I said, I'm already just so tired of talking about the Yankees. Like yesterday, I didn't tune in for a single pitch. It was Masters only. This is what I would say to all Yankees fans: until you see, from an organizational standpoint, them make some change with this lineup, you should not stress. You should not get upset. You should just not, I don't want to say not care because that might be too far, about this team in a sense. Like, just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Why should you, tune in every night to watch these games, go to games, show up to the stadium when you know this is what their lineup is going to be? And people say, oh, it could just be, a slump. They'll break out of it. Yes, they're not going to play this bad all year. But the problem is knowing that this is what the lineup could look like at times. And when they start to face better pitching, if they make the playoffs, because the way they're playing right now, I don't know how this team's going to make the playoffs. They can't score 5 runs. Like, there's a chance that this is what the lineup does come playoff time. So, I don't know. I really want to see Dominguez and Lombard just get a chance. I cannot get any worse than what they have right now. Like, I don't care if Dominguez's defense is not good. Like, we can deal with that. The guy is absolutely crushing it from hitting right now in AAA. Bring him up again, please.
What's the funniest thing about this is they're not going to bring them up. They're going to, Volpe comes back this end of this week. They're going to think that's going to be a spark or momentum shift. And we all know it's not going to be. But we all know. I don't know why.
Well, hopefully we're wrong.
Hopefully. But hey, I mean,
just tiring. It's tiring.
It really is. It gets exhausting because, you expect it's the New York Yankees. You spoke about it last week. There is no salary cap in baseball. They make the most money in the league.
Whatever. Let's move on. We got playoffs. We got playoffs.
Basketball.
Playoffs
NBA
coming up. So NBA, yep. We got the play-in. The play-in starts tonight.
Tomorrow night.
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's the I don't know why I'm blanking
Sixers
right now.
and Magic, I think, play tomorrow, right? Or do they? Because that's a 7-8 game. Or do
Sixers?
So the 9?
No, it's not the Sixers Magic. It's the Suns. Playing for that 7 seed against, I believe it is. Let's check really quickly.
So Heat, Hornets, Trailblazers, Suns. That's the 9. That's 9-10 in the East, 7-8 in the West.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday is, Sixers, Magic, Warriors, Clippers, 9 versus 10.
Yeah.
And then Friday is the 8th seed games. And then Saturday starts the actual playoffs.
I mean, I'm honestly very surprised that the Trailblazers had a season over 500. I know they've been at a bottom feeder.
Very quiet. But, I mean, the fact that they're even in a position to potentially be a 7th seed is, pretty.
What craziest part about this is they might not even make the playoffs because of the play-in. Which is insane. I'm not a big fan of the play-in myself. Heat, Hornets, that'll be a good
all
game.
Fun and games though until Steph Curry propels the Warriors on a run.
Would be insane.
They win the play-in. They beat the Thunder first round. Could you imagine?
You know what the worst part about this is?
Yeah.
If the Warriors beat the Clippers tomorrow or Wednesday night and the Clippers lose, they become a lottery team, right?
Yeah.
You know who has the Clippers pick? The OKC Thunder.
Oh, my Lord.
So if the Clippers lose versus the Warriors tomorrow night or Wednesday night, the Thunder have a chance at a lottery pick. And we all know a lottery pick is anywhere from 1 to 14. We saw what happened with the Mavs and Cooper Flag.
GM cooked, man.
He did. He is honestly this needs to go down as Hall of Fame stuff. They are so deep. I have nothing to say. It's unfair, honestly. It feels like, but the Thunder, and then they go and pick up Jared McCain, who I don't know why the Sixers gave up on him so quick. Makes no sense. He was great at Duke. He had a bad injury
I hated
his rookie
that move.
season. Just unserious. So I don't know. But yeah, the Knicks. We got to talk about the Knicks. So they're locked in a series against the Hawks.
Are they back? Are
right?
the Knicks back?
So this is the thing with the Knicks. The Knicks go as Cat goes, right?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Always
It's genuinely that simple.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need a good Cat. We need an aggressive Cat. And we've seen down the stretch that the Knicks, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns are starting to build that chemistry. They're starting to spam the pick and roll late in games, and they've realized that two very highly skilled offensive weapons in a pick and roll is hard to defend, no matter how you defend it. You got a 7-footer who can pick and pop. He can drive to the hole. We've got a 6'2" guard who is so shifty that nobody can stay in front of him. So in a pick and roll, that alone is great. And then you got 3-and-D guys all across the wing. So the Knicks looked great down the stretch versus the Celtics the other night. I know they had no Jaylen Brown, and that's what the Boston media was clearly getting behind that narrative, that there was no Jaylen Brown. And I just don't think they're going to get 20 points out of Baylor Shireman ever again. So that was the reason that was a close game. But again, it all comes down to if Karl-Anthony Towns will play aggressive. I know Shaq said it the other day on a podcast. He said, "Are you going to get a tiger, quote, or are you going to get a pussycat?" That's what he said. And it's that true. I hate to say it. I love Karl-Anthony Towns, but we saw all the reports last week about Giannis. Giannis said at the end of last offseason that there's only one team that he'd want to play for outside of the Bucks, and that's the New York Knicks. The idea of bringing a championship to the city of New York for the first time in 50-something years was very enticing to him. Mm-hmm. And that says a lot about Giannis's character. But
yeah, it's kind
if Cat doesn't
put up
perform,
or shut up time for Cat.
Exactly. If he doesn't perform, we're going to see the Knicks make an aggressive push at Giannis this offseason. And I'm all for it, especially with, barring how this postseason goes. Mm-hmm. So
I want to just touch on your point, though, about, because I had a very similar outlook on the Knicks game versus Celtics. I know Jaylen Brown didn't play. To me, it wasn't even about like the fact that the Knicks won that game. It was just more so about how they won it. And like you said, the high pick and roll and kind of spamming that late game and seeing the potential it has. And then you get, one big clutch three from Josh Hart. And that just has to be the formula to success. Like, I understand Jaylen Brown wasn't there. And if he's there, you don't know how the game's going to transpire. But, seeing the chemistry between Brunson and Cat, that is the most important thing. Like, the Knicks will be in games in the playoffs. I think they will beat the Hawks first round. The Hawks do kind of scare me. I saw there was a lot of discourse on social media about, the Knicks always get the hottest team, first round of the playoffs. Well, then play better in the regular season then. Like,
it's that simple.
What kind of narrative is this? Like, the Knicks always have to play the best team coming in the playoffs. Well, this year you had no excuse not to be a 1 or 2 seed. Literally none. Jason Tatum wasn't there for 75% of the year, and you still couldn't finish in front of the Celtics. You weren't the 1 seed. The Pistons played out of their mind, but they lost their MVP frontrunner for a little bit of the season. So, I mean, Knicks fans can complain about,
a little lousy.
The past few years, we've had to play the best teams. Well, that's your own fault. If you played better in the regular season and won more games, you would be playing a lower seed. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, I don't know. That kind of pissed me off seeing that. That was like an actual thing. They were like, I know, like, we always have to play the worst team. I mean, the best team coming in. Well, that's your own fault. But regardless, I think they should get past the Hawks. I think they'll be, it's going to be another insane matchup second round versus the Celtics. Yeah. But
let's make our
predictions.
Our first round predictions. So playing prediction. I got the Suns beating the Blazers. I feel like that's an easy one just because of their experience. They got a leader in Devin Booker.
I'll just say this for the first round, for doing first round predictions, regardless of the play-in, I just have, all the 1s and 2s advancing. I don't think any of the play-in teams will, there's only been one time where a play-in team has beat the one. That was the Heat. Yeah. When they beat the Bucks.
Jimmy Butler hustle buckets.
That's it. I think that's literally been the only time. Maybe I'll just say this year, if I had to pick one team, I know I brought up Curry earlier, but I don't believe in the Warriors as a team. Maybe the Clippers. Maybe. they can maybe do it, but there's always false hope with them. So.
Yeah, I mean, they'd no matter what, the highest seed they can get is the 8th seed, and they'd play the Thunder. So
yeah, so exactly. So
I think
all the ones.
Honestly, I don't know why the play-in
is
even a thing to begin with. I mean, maybe it's better
more ratings.
Come expansion. That's all it is.
More ratings.
But come expansion, it might be a little better. Who knows? We'll see. So the Pistons, Cade actually came back from a collapsed lung within three weeks. The guy's unreal. They're going to make, I think, the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see the Cavs or the Hawks beating them in a 6 or a 7-game series. But the Knicks, I think this is a series that can go 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because the Knicks will do that. They will find a way. They always will play down to their opponent's level. We've seen it all year. We've seen it the last 3 or 4 years, that they will always find a way to play down to their opponent's level, no matter how skilled and deep the team is. It's just like, it must be like a New York curse. I feel like that this is a thing with all New York sports teams. The Celtics, again, this is a team that I can see genuinely going back to the finals. I think they walk right past whoever they play in that 7th seed slot. And then Cavs Hawks. Or is it? Yeah.
No, Cavs Raptors.
Knicks, Hawks. Yeah, Knicks Hawks. I don't know what you're going to get out of the Cavs. I know they've got the leadership in Harden and ND Mitch.
Raptors are not.
And the Raptors, a little too young. I know they've got Emmanuel Quickley's out as well. I think the Cavs go on, but I think that's about their ceiling, is they move on and they lose in the next round. So, and then on the West Coast, Lakers, Rockets. Should be a good series. LeBron versus KD. However, the Lakers have so many injuries. I think the Rockets take care of that in 5 or 6. I think the most fascinating and appealing series in the NBA playoffs this year is that Nuggets T-Wolves series. We all know, Anthony Edwards he loves the moment. He will excel in high. I'm blanking on the word, but in a situation like this, this is Anthony Edwards' year to really make a statement, right? Like, he's getting older now. He has to be a leader. He is the leader on that team. This is his year to make a statement. I know the West is a gauntlet, and it's tough. And you got a team like the Spurs with young leadership who I think can genuinely go on another run and secure 3 to 4 championships within the next decade. It's that serious with how good Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama are. So I think the West playoffs first round are amazing. I think the winner comes out of the West no matter what happens on the East this year. I think that the West is just that much better. And it's been that much better for a few years now. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm circling that Nuggets Timberwolves series. We've seen a few good series out of them in the last 4 years. So I think that's the most enticing one there.
Yeah. Out of the whole first round, yeah, I think that probably shapes up to be the best series overall. Yeah, I got Thunder advancing. Lakers, Rockets. Even with the injuries, I would not be surprised if the Rockets lost this series. And the reason I said even with the injuries, Rockets lose is because I think it would be the Rockets losing the series, not the Lakers winning it. There's a difference. Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about the Rockets. Like, it should be, with all these injuries, it should just be a given that you grab the first 2 games on the road and then you come home. Because I think, I don't think Luka or AR are playing the first 2 games at least. I don't know what their official timeline is, but with the injuries, the Rockets should get it done. It just still wouldn't surprise me if they lost. I just don't think the Lakers have enough. And to put all that on LeBron at 41, that's a lot. But they'll probably find a way to grab a game or 2. And depending on when they get Luka and Reeves back, maybe they find a way to win the series. I don't know. I'll pick the Rockets, though. Nuggets, Timberwolves, I actually think the Nuggets win this in 5 games. I think they're going to be a really good 5 games, but I think the Nuggets win. I don't know. It just feels like so many times if Ant's not having, those moments, the Timberwolves just don't play well enough. I think the Nuggets were 3-1 versus the Timberwolves in the regular season this year. So I'll go with the Nuggets. Obviously the Spurs advancing. In the East, I got Pistons, Cavs, Knicks, Celtics. I just feel it's so chalky. I didn't pick a single upset, but I guess actually Rockets would be an upset 5-4 over the Lakers. But I just feel like that's the kind of year it's going to be. Honestly, I can just run through my bracket. I think, the Thunder would beat whoever comes out of that series. I think, that's going to be a tough one. Nuggets, Spurs, that'll feel like a championship series, honestly. The West, like you said, is just an absolute gauntlet. Do you go with the experience of the Nuggets, or do you just go with the Spurs and how well they're playing? Oh, man.
I mean, the Nuggets, the Spurs, and the Thunder are playing some of the best basketball we will ever see.
Man.
Down the stretch.
That is so tough. All right, let's go to the East then. Pistons beat the Cavs. Knicks, Celtics.
I genuinely think the Celtics will take that. Like,
Knicks got this. The Knicks got this. The Knicks find another way to beat the Celtics. They conquer the demon once again, and the Knicks go to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they will play the Pistons. And that's too biased.
I was gonna say, if you were about to say that the Knicks are gonna go to the finals.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like this as a whole. I think this is so tough. Pistons, can they get it done this year? All right, my finals matchup, give me the Celtics. They're actually going to beat the Knicks. Non-biased, I think the Celtics. I just think they're too good of a team. And I got the Spurs coming out the West.
That's not crazy. Earlier this year, I said on the pod,
they seem to have the Thunder's numbers.
I think we're going to get a Pistons-Spurs finals. I mean, it'd be sick if I'm not wrong, but the Pistons get back their all-star, their leader, their star, and they were winning games without him. That's what's scary about it. That team is that much of a unit that they can go out there and go to fight and war and battle every night without their leader and still come away with victories. And then on the flip side, the Spurs, I just love their tenacity and how well they defend. There's another unit. And the only reason why I got the Spurs is because they handled the Thunder in the regular season. Yes, I know the playoffs are a different beast, but they're the only team that made the Thunder look almost like human in a sense, right? Like the way the Thunder started the year, I mean, we were having talks about, are they going to break a record? No one is able to beat them. And hey, I mean, the Spurs did it 3 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to get a Western Conference final between those two teams that is just going to be one for the ages. It's going to be almost like watching 2016 Warriors Thunder, right? Like it's going to be amazing. So the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, got the Thunder in SGA, the Pistons and Cade Cunningham, and then the Celtics, I think, which I don't know whose name I should say first. You got Jaylen Brown, who's an MVP candidate, and then you've got Jason Tatum, who a lot of Celtics fans think it's his team. We're going to go with Jaylen Brown because, again, his quote, 50 wins in a down year, that's incredible. But I think those are the final 4 teams. And I'm not trying to just hate on my Knicks, but they've showed me things this year that I hope I'm wrong. Let's just say that. I just hope I'm wrong because just too many ups and downs, guys in the starting lineup that are too inconsistent. We've had, we've lost guys to injuries like Deuce McBride who've come in and out of the lineup who they're trying to get their momentum back to and get to full health. But I will say this is the deepest Knick team I can say in Knick history going into playoffs.
Yeah. If there's a team, coming into this year, it was if there was ever a Knicks team that could do it, it was going to be this one because they got more depth. I guess that still stands. I mean, obviously, it's been an up and down year for the Knicks, but that still stands. If there is a team that can do it, it's got to be this one. Did you see that clip of Wemby doing math at the presser? Post-game?
No, but I heard a little outrage on X.
Yeah, and everybody was like, oh, he's a genius, like Wemby this, Wemby that. The bar has just dropped so low for common knowledge and just common sense. And I'm not a mathematician, guys, but I mean, the math he was doing was round numbers with 5s and 0s. Like, come on. Like, I mean, he was just calculating simple stuff, and it's not like he did it instantly. He thought about it for a second too. Like, yeah, I'm not saying Wemby's not smart. It would take me just as long to, figure out what he was doing. But like the glazing over Wemby doing some math on the podium was insane. Like, and it's less about Wemby and just the bar has just dropped so low with just everything. And I mean, I guess that's a credit to technology and how far it's come and how accessible and easy things are to look up on your phone and AI and this and that. But like, this is math that like you probably rewind just 10 years ago, everybody can do it in their head without a doubt. I mean, one of them was 50 times, I think 75. I don't know. That doesn't sound right to what he multiplied. I forgot what the numbers was, but it was 60 and 50, or the 65 game rule and the 50. He was basically saying if a guy plays 65 games at 20 minutes, or if a guy plays 50 games but plays 30 minutes a game, like that kind of whole math behind the MVPs and like what they should qualify for. So that was the math he was doing. Like, this is stuff that people could do in their sleep probably 10, 15 years ago. And now you have a whole generation that is so reliant on AI that we're just cooked, that we think that is so impressive. Again, I'm not a mathematician by any means, but like, my God, has the bar just dropped.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it. I wish I did see it. I'm going to watch it after we film. But the bar has dropped for a lot of things. We can really speak about it. The bar has dropped in society for a lot of different things. And
in what way, James?
It can be said about a lot of different things. That's all I know.
It dropped? Got something particular in mind?
I can only imagine. And people are just, in their glazing. And it's like, all right, let's relax. But did you see yesterday Doc Rivers stepped down as the coach of the Bucks? He wasted no time. The season ended yesterday. He stepped down with the swiftness. I mean, he went 97 and 103 over the course of 2.5 seasons. The Bucks missed the playoffs this year, and I think his playoff record over the past 2 seasons was 3-8. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about Doc Rivers. They say that, his legacy is carried by that Celtics team where he had, I believe, 3 or 4 Hall of Famers on the roster, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we give credit to players for their longevity. I don't know if we give coaches credit for their longevity, but I think longevity should be praised at some sort, especially if you can stay in the industry for a long time, no matter what industry you're in, right? That should be praised. But, his success after that Celtics team, you look at this Clippers tenure.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the West has always been a gauntlet. I mean, since 2010, it feels like, maybe even before then. And he had a few great Clippers teams, but a lot of people credit that success to Chris Paul, right? Like, Chris Paul made the New Orleans Hornets a competitive team in the West. Everywhere he's gone, he's made a team competitive. So, again, is that the guys he had on his team, or was it his coaching? I mean, for his resume, there have been way too many postseason flameouts where that's where the conversation starts. Is it, is he carried by his team, or is he carried by, his coaching ability? So I don't know, but I think that might have been the last bit of Doc Rivers that we will see in the NBA. I think he's just going to retire and go back to TV, which I think is a great thing for him. I think he's a culture setter in the NBA, and that's what his legacy will be about. So I don't know, but
legendary coach, no doubt. I mean, you could argue at times been a little overrated because of that ring with the Celtics, and like you said, the players, you could say, kind of carried him on that. I mean, there's just been a lack of playoff success elsewhere, and you look at his time with the Clippers, and he had that short stint with the Sixers, then goes over to Milwaukee. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like after a while, it got to the point where it was like, oh, if your team hired, Doc Rivers, it was going to be, you're not going to win, what really matters. But nonetheless, he's still a legendary coach. To do it for that long, was it 27 years in the NBA as a head coach? I mean, come on, that's legendary stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, he got out of Milwaukee right away. I feel like that's a sign of things to come. Giannis is going to be next. I can't imagine he's playing there another year. So that'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we get into our clubhouse call out this week.
Let's do it.
We kind of got a bunch of talking points. We appreciate all you guys who swiped up on our stories and, asked us questions, had topics that you guys wanted us to discuss. So we'll get into some of those. One of them was about the draft. Would you want to wait another week for the draft, or do you want to get into that now? Because I know the draft is April 25th. I think it always is, or one of those days.
Yeah, I mean, it was we had a question about the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, it's Thursday, April 23rd, so we'll get another episode.
Do a little mock, get a little draft segment going out.
Yeah,
I definitely have a lot of opinions about what the Giants should do with that draft pick. I've seen a lot of things about, taking Love from Notre Dame, taking either the defenders from Ohio State, Sonny Styles and Downs. I think the Giants need to pick a defensive player. I can go on and on about this. Dexter Lawrence requested a trade, hence why the Giants kind of moved down.
Yeah, tough look for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens because I think they're going to end up trading Dexter Lawrence. A lot of Giants fans and a lot of these Giants pages don't think they're going to trade him, which I don't know why we're being so delusional. I know the guy has a Giants tattoo on his arm, and he loves the city of New York. He loves playing for Big Blue, but there hasn't been a lot of success since he's been here, right? And I can understand as a competitor, you want to go elsewhere, and especially if you're not getting paid or respected the same way with your contract, there's a reason you request a trade. I think, especially with, this new dynamic of John Harbaugh taking over a lot of those GM responsibilities, that we might see him get traded. It's a new tenure, a new era, you can say, for the Giants out there in East Rutherford. But I think he might get traded, and we might see the Giants end up with 2 first-round picks. That's my take on that. We'll definitely get to it next week or the week after. But we definitely had a few others. I think one that needs to be talked about was the Yankee Stadium music.
Yeah. That was a good one. Shout out Timmy for that one. He said the music in between innings at Yankee Stadium is obnoxiously loud. Never mind innings. How about between pitches?
It's unreal. So, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know, but I do work part-time over there at Yankee Stadium, right? So I'm up there in the press box a lot. If you look at the press and the people sitting in the press box sometimes, they have headphones in, they have literal earplugs in, and a lot of people don't like it. I don't know. I understand why the music is the way it is now, because you look around the league and a lot of places are just pumping in noise. They're trying to bring the culture of baseball back to, the forefront of the U.S. They're trying to, baseball, I saw a stat that soccer has actually jumped baseball and hockey in youth participation in the U.S. So they're trying to appeal to the young generations. They're trying to make the game fun, hence why they've made so many changes, right? But it's loud. There's nothing wrong with the music every other pitch, but it's loud. That's the thing for me.
I think earlier this year when the Yankees had their first home game, when they were doing the player intros for the game, they obviously have like that background music going, and it was so loud that you couldn't actually hear the player introductions on like on a broadcast. Maybe if you were at the stadium you could hear it, but I think on the broadcast
I couldn't hear.
It was I think it was that the music was so loud that they were like introducing Aaron Judge, and you could only like quietly hear his name being I don't know. Yeah, that's always been a thing. And then obviously they have the is it like the Star Wars like sound effect when there's like 2 strikes?
I love that though. I think it's because I'm a Star Wars guy. I think they got to do it at the right moment.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like that. I just, again, like that's one of those things that's just like super super loud.
I think it gets the crowd going. I mean, when certain guys are up to bat, like when Judge is up to at bat, I guess he loves Travis Scott. The DJ will play a Travis Scott song in between each pitch. Maybe the players love it. We don't know. I don't know. But I just think it's loud in there. And now I don't know if you haven't been to a game yet this year. I don't know. But I don't know if you'll go to a game.
I don't know if they're going to get me to go to a game.
Upgraded all the video boards in there. So like the brand new video board in center field. And then around the second level, they've removed a lot of the ads and replaced them with video boards, which obviously will make them more money because they can sell more ads and more rights to those video boards during certain innings or however long it is. But it's even behind home plate now. So I don't know how it is for a pitcher. I don't know if that's like a thing, but like the lights flash are changed between ads and whatnot. They even have a light show, which is really awesome. But that's just, it's staying in the theme of they're trying to make the game more interesting. They're trying to turn it into more of a show, like other sports are. I don't know. Baseball's a little different. 162 games. I mean, I don't know how many times you can make something that extraordinary, like in football, where there only are 17 games, 8 or 9 home games, where every game has to be a show, right? So a little different, but a lot of fans seem to hate the loud music, and I understand it. It is very, very loud in Yankee Stadium now.
I think it's also, ironically, loud in Yankee Stadium right now because of what's going on. I think, winning solves everything. And if they were winning games, people wouldn't care. I mean, obviously people would comment about the music, but they'd be like, whatever, winning
Wouldn't
games.
matter, yeah.
Maybe win a World Series. Nobody would care about the music, but it's loud on all fronts at Yankee Stadium right now.
That's exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think we also got a couple other questions about the Yankees as a whole, but that got addressed earlier in the rant. I think one of them was who the Yankees should acquire at the deadline. Come on, we're too early for the deadline. The team stinks. The Yankees finally giving Dominguez or Jones a chance. Grisham isn't doing it. Yeah, that's a great call out, no doubt. They got to bring Dominguez up. Same with Spencer Jones. I mean, this is what they do though. They let their prospects rot, and then they don't want to trade them because they feel they're too valuable to trade. So then you get nobody in return for them. So then they just rot in the minors, and then they'll come up for a little 3-game stint. They can't get comfortable. Right back down to AAA. How you doing? Oh man, I can't talk about them anymore. I can't.
One more MLB topic. We had someone bring up the MLB and if it needs a salary cap, which as Yankee fans, you would think we say no. But it doesn't matter because they don't like to use all the money that they bring in every year. They'd rather use their prospects, right? I don't know. It's tough.
The day there's an MLB salary cap might be the day the Yankees are officially cooked, because if they can't win a World Series in the non-salary cap era, and if they add one, I don't know what they're going to do.
I was gonna say, if I'm like a Rockies fan or a Pirates fan or any of those smaller market teams, I would certainly say the MLB needs a salary cap, right?
Yeah.
And this is just simply about saving competitive balance, because look at the Dodgers. What they're doing right now is so greedy, but I respect it because they can do it, and they say, to hell with everyone else. Yeah. Why not do it, right? That's the thing. That's the most important thing to me. A salary cap would make the MLB more competitive. We would see different teams at the top. It would maybe be a little more watchable for people across the nation. However, the bigger teams have the bigger fan bases, and I think that's where the MLB is focused right now. I mean, it would be more fair across markets. Teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets would miss on being able to spend over $100+ million, right, worth of contracts, and still being able to reload each season. And the smaller market teams, one bad deal that can set them back 3 to 5 years. Everyone talks about, Paul Skeens will be a Yankee at some point. It's like, he'll be a Yankee, right? Just because we know the Pirates are going to end up,
not being able to pay him.
Not going to be able to pay him. And then they'll trade him and get back a bunch of prospects and picks and whatnot. But I don't know, it creates these cycles in baseball where it's happened for years on years on years, decades on decades. And that's kind of what baseball is. But I think if we want to see the future of baseball and you want to see a more competitive product, yes, you need a salary cap. As a Yankee fan, no. But I'm going to be unbiased here, and I'm fully with the MLB getting a salary cap. I've honestly heard a little bit about people want that in the Premier League, which you talk to Premier League fans. It's the same big 6 clubs at the top because there is no salary cap, and it's hard. Teams get demoted and promoted. But a lot of people want that competitive balance, and we're seeing that in college sports too, with now that teams are, all able to pay and kind of, there's revenue share now and across different conferences. And, now we're seeing more teams win championships. The Big Ten just flipped upside down and is winning everything. It feels like. So I don't know. I think every league needs a salary cap. So
yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. That was our clubhouse call out segment. Before we get into our about it, not about it of the week, I did want to bring up the NHL playoffs, which are about to kick off. Obviously, I got the Penguins jersey on. I think that was also somebody swiped up with that for our predictions. The bracket isn't officially done just yet because the NHL season ends a little bit later than NBA. I believe the last regular season games are Tuesday, and I think in the East it can change with that last wild card spot. Or maybe the last Metro spot in the division. I think either the Capitals or the Flyers are going to be that third in the Metro. So as of right now, the Penguins are going to play either the Flyers or the Capitals. Right now, it's the Flyers. Either of those series is going to be an absolute war. Obviously, you have the in-state rivalry between Pittsburgh and Philly. Not historic, but the history between the Penguins and the Capitals in the playoffs. Then you get a series between Sid and OV again. I mean, it would just be absolutely insane. I think I will be going to that first Penguins playoff game. Awesome. So that'll be a really fun game to watch. Some other series that I'm, looking into are kind of same on both sides between the 2 and 3. Montreal, Tampa Bay should be an absolute fantastic series. And then same with Dallas, Minnesota. And then, I don't know, overall predictions for the bracket, I would kind of want to wait until it's completely settled. But I think it's so hard to pick against Colorado in the West. I just think they are just such a dominant team. I think they'll come out the West overall. I think, whoever they get, whether it's Vegas or Edmonton, in that conference final, I think they'll take care of them. In the East, wow, man, Buffalo has looked so good. I just think Tampa, their experience kind of propels them to get to the conference finals. And, on the other side of that bracket in the East, I don't know. I think it could be a toss-up. It's kind of funny how I'm seeing this discourse online about how, what teams have a chance at winning the cup, who can make an interesting run, and who has no chance. And I'm seeing people are putting the Penguins in the no chance category. And it's just kind of ironic because coming into the year, everybody said the Penguins had no chance of making the playoffs. And now they're playing some pretty good hockey. And now that they're actually in it, to have a team that has, experience from Sid, Malkin, Letang, even Eero Karlsson, to say that they just have no chance now to make a run at a cup is kind of crazy to me because they finally have a blend of good veterans, actually great veterans, and some really good depth youth pieces. And yes, there's a little question with the goaltending, but the goaltending has been pretty solid for them. So to say that the Penguins have no chance at making the Stanley Cup pissed me off, man. But regardless, I think hockey playoffs are the best playoffs that there is. Maybe MLB, you get those home crowds.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
March Madness is kind of a little different, but overall, NHL playoffs are absolutely insane. Every single shift matters. You can feel the weight of it, and it is incredible. So I'm looking forward to it. If I had to guess who's coming out the East, non-biased pick, I'd probably go with Tampa. I think they're just so solid, and they have experience. Carolina just always seems to come up short. Biased pick, Penguins are getting another cup. It's happening. I think they're doing
how
it.
Rob gets his heart broken.
That's fine. That's fine. I need to see the boy. I need to see the big three get one more cup, and I think they could do it, man. They got some juju going on in Pittsburgh right now.
My only comment on the NHL is kind of saw it in the New York media. Not a single team in the New York City metro area made the NHL playoffs for the first time in league history.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers, Islanders, and Devils all eliminated from the playoff contention whatsoever.
Not about it.
Not about it. It's just an understatement. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. For an area to have 3 teams and not one of them to make the playoffs is pretty pathetic. And I don't know. I don't know what the Rangers' direction is right now. It feels like there isn't one, right? Like they trade away Panarin. I don't know what's going on. Are they going to reload in the draft? They're in the middle of the pack as well, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just not a lot of great things coming out of the New York area, NHL wise. So we're gonna move on to our about it, not about it of the week. I think this is our favorite segment every week.
No doubt.
I'll kick it off. My about it of the week, man, spring golf. Me and our producer Skur had the chance this past week to get out there on the course for the first time. And I got to say, man, that first round after winter, nothing touches it. I'm out there. I don't even care how well I'm playing. But the fact that I'm out there just hitting a golf ball again, I'm outside. The air is not freezing cold. I feel like spring golf is therapy for us New Englanders and anyone up in the Northeast or in a temperate climate where you have to experience 4 seasons. It's you're back in square one, but it's okay. We're building towards something. Hopefully by May, June, the swing is smooth. But again, nothing touches it. It's not even about the score. It's not about being, just trying to, I need a birdie, I need a par, I need a bogey. No. It's just about being back. That's the number one thing, man. You forget how much you love golf, and then you get out there and you swing a golf club, and here I am. I got the bug again. I can't wait. After we record, I think I'm going to go putt for 2 hours if I can. I mean, that first clean strike after the first few months is nothing like it. It's unreal.
And then the Masters always early April, so that's right when the weather's turning in the Northeast. So all the golfers in the Northeast, then you get the major itch. You just see those driving ranges are absolutely packed, and you just kind of, you break that dry streak of golf. Kind of nothing like it. I mean, there's some similar things, but not quite.
There's some similar things.
No doubt. I'm sticking with golf for my about it of the week. My about of the week is Colin Morikawa, who battled through his back injury this week at Augusta.
Shout out Colin for that.
Yeah, no, it caused him to pull out of a tournament early. I think it was the Players he had to back out of earlier this year. If you saw him at all this weekend, you saw that he was having trouble walking. I think he said he had more difficulty walking than he did swinging a golf club, which is absolutely insane. But, to battle through that and show up to the tournament and play, and to not only make the cut, but to finish top 7 at 9 under par. I mean, the second 9 on Sunday, he goes off for 5 straight birdies at one point. I mean, he was absolutely cooking. So, to battle through all that pain, just shout out to him. Just truly about a behavior. Hopefully he can get healthy because, when he is and he's hitting the ball well, he's one of the best in the world. So shout out to Colin Morikawa. Not about it of the week. Also, I'm going to stick with golf. Just what the Masters does. Golf becomes everything. Live golfers, not about of the week. And I'm saying this with half a smile on my face because I'm not a fan of Live at all. But their performance at Augusta was absolutely horrific. Outside of Tyrrell Hatton, no one even sniffed the top of the leaderboard this week. You had Dustin Johnson at even par. John Rahm was 1 over. Sergio Garcia 8 over, and he had an absolutely disgusting blow up on the course on Sunday. And for a veteran like him to do something like that at Augusta, it is pretty pathetic. I saw Mike Greenberg tweeted about how there's no rule of why Augusta shouldn't ban him after that and just say, no, your invitation is done, because I think him being a past winner there is the only, reason that he's still getting his qualification to come back. So if they want to, they could say, you know what, you're not coming back after doing something like that. Charles Schwartzel, 12 over. And then you have Bubba Watson, Bryson, Cam Smith, all missed the cut. So the live golfers just stunk it up this week outside of Tyrrell Hatton. And Rahm and Bryson were 2 guys that we're seeing as basically almost not favorites, but they were up there, as potential favorites to win the Masters, and they just didn't show up at all. So live golfers, once again, not about it. So yeah, live golf.
Yeah, no, they weren't great this year. My not about it of the week, hate to do this, but Penn State basketball. I mean, I'm looking at the transfer portal, right? And I see there's over 200 guys in the transfer portal last night. And I'm just, as a UConn guy, you look at that, we're Penn State guys as well. You see Eric Ryba left. I see Caden Mingo, which I didn't know he was transferring. The highest recruit in Penn State basketball history. And then I also saw Freddie DeLeon, who was at Penn State the last 2 years. He was probably where most of the offense came. But I'm not about Penn State basketball right now. And I'm sure Penn State fans aren't whatsoever. You go to the Bryce Jordan Center for a game, it's empty. The second level is blocked out because people don't even sit up there. And it starts at the top. It really does. I mean, you lose guys like Caden Mingo and Freddie DeLeon. It isn't just like the portal era, but this is going to start to be a pattern, right? Mike Rhodes was, all right, we brought him in after Micah Shrewsbury, and he went and recruited the highest recruit in Penn State history. You know, we thought we'd have a little momentum. They didn't want to give Micah Shrewsbury the blank check. They knew he didn't really love Pennsylvania that much. But, I mean, this isn't a one-off thing. There is no identity right now with that program whatsoever. There's no direction either. I mean, you can't keep selling us that we're building something, you know, when your best young pieces, they keep walking out the door. I don't understand it. I mean, these are the guys that we expect to build around. And then you go and you recruit out of Europe and you bring in all these guys like Juric. And the season just fell beyond flat. You were at the bottom of the Big Ten. Like, it was a joke, a literal joke. And I think this is where Pat Kraft has to lock in. I know football, down year this past year. You know, hockey didn't have that great of a Frozen Four experience. And then, you know, wrestling is a dynasty, but basketball is one of the moneymakers in college sports, and they just can't seem to get it. You just can't let it continue to, I guess, exist in the background when the Big Ten is doing the things it's doing, when a team like Michigan just won it all, right? So I think he's got to get going. And my question is Mike Rhodes the answer moving forward? I think, you know, just me seeing those guys on that list of transfers really put it into perspective that Penn State basketball is so lost and that there's no direction. Is this the guy in Mike Rhodes that you want to build around? You want to continue building this program around? I mean, is he the guy? I don't know. I just think they're not about it. As a whole, there's just the women too. It's a lot. It's a joke. It's really a joke for a big school like Penn State. It's kind of pathetic because they have the resources, right? They've got the facilities. It's just, when are we going to be serious? And I don't know. There's no stability, no retention, there's no identity. I can go on and on about this because I spent my 4 years of school going to almost every home game with a few of my buddies. I love basketball, love college hoops, but they didn't want to give Micah Shrewsbury the blank check, and he walked out. You bring in this guy from VCU, and the program has just been below mid. So they're my not about it of the week.
Yeah, I got nothing to say about
It's just,
them.
I had to address it because it hasn't been addressed because the program has just been so flat, and that's what I got to say. But I don't know. I also wanted to talk about this movie I saw last night that I think might genuinely be the worst movie I've ever watched in my life. I don't know what is going on over there at Netflix for them to release stuff like this and then to market it and have a whole marketing campaign where they expect us to go and buy into this movie and then they drop it. Or do they think we are a joke, right? I don't even think it's worth subscribing to anymore because the show, if you're not watching your 2 or 3 shows that you love, there's no point because the movie Thrash, I think it should be called Trash. Forget it. It's like a Sharknado, hurricane mix, Jaws. I don't know what you want to call it. I think that was genuinely one of the worst movies I've ever watched. It was like a serious version of Sharknado that found a way to be more unserious. I mean, don't even waste your time watching it. The movie, the plot is, I don't know even where they are. I think they're in like Louisiana or somewhere in the Gulf, and huge hurricane is coming in. I think it's a category 5, and a truck that is carrying, I guess, blood because it's going to a meat factory. Gets caught in the hurricane. The truck opens up, and the blood is now all over in the water and all throughout the town. And you know sharks. Sharks attack when they sniff blood. So then the sharks move into the town. The sharks are swimming around people's homes. They're just attacking people out of nowhere. There's a woman who's giving birth. She gave birth. I'm sorry. I don't even want to give spoilers. A woman gave birth. Then one of the main characters gave birth in the water as she's floating on a piece of plywood. I cannot make this up. A house explodes. I mean, oh my gosh, the most insane part of the movie. Again, I'm sorry about the spoilers. One of the main characters, a foster parent in the movie, he's abusive to his children. He get a shark bites off his arm and then also his behind. And he's gone for 30 minutes in the movie. The kids are talking about, oh, thank God he's dead, right? And I kid you not, he pops out of the water with his arm bitten off out of nowhere. I cannot make this up. This might be one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Yeah. I don't know how you make almost a Sharknado movie and it finds a way to be more unserious than Sharknado. I no words. One of the worst movies I've ever watched in my life. I got to talk about it.
I just threw the trailer up really quick while you were going on your rant. Just fast forward. It looked so trash.
And then not to mention, everyone talks about how movies these days, the color grading, everything looks fake. The green screen, the editing in this movie, I'm telling you, no offense to students that are in the film industry, but it looks like it could have been made by some film student who hasn't even graduated yet.
I thought about that the other day because, last night, actually. I was scrolling through channels last night and I saw one of the old Spider-Man movies popped up. And I was just thinking about like how CGI has come so far, but there was also like a golden era of CGI where like some older movies look better than they do now because like CGI is just like, it almost looks too fake now. Like there really was like a golden era of CGI, but yeah, I don't know. That movie, it looked trash. It looked terrible.
I really can't.
You watch it with anyone? Did you watch it with like your family or something?
I watched it.
What did they think about it?
I watched. My family couldn't. They actually, when the movie was about to turn off, the climax moment of this movie is the lady. I cannot make this up. One of the main characters, she gives birth in the water. The baby comes out. Obviously, the baby looks like it's 2 years old already. Something crazy like that. She's holding the baby on the plywood. Oh, mama's here. A tiger shark is swimming fast as hell towards them, right? And it's about to eat the two main characters. And out of nowhere, Jaws, like a great white shark, just jumps out the water and stuffs the tiger shark. And then the movie ends. I kid you not. My parents got up and looked at me and they're like, I can't believe you just had us watch this movie. Like they were upset at me for picking this movie. And I'm normally good with movies. I don't know, man. It was so bad. Thrash, forget it. The movie's name is Trash. Move forward from that. Never again.
I think, yeah, we got to move on. It might be time to just wrap it up.
Yeah, go take a look.
Just wrap it up
at like a Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Went back when we were younger. Those were great. CGI was not too much. What I watched last night might be one of the. I'm not. I think it is the worst movie I've ever watched. I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I was gonna bring up something about Coachella, but I think this episode's been pretty long. Luckily, Coachella's a 2-week event, which I didn't even know until an hour before we recorded.
Was awesome.
So I'm gonna save that take on Coachella until next week's episode. Leave you guys with a little something to think about for the next week until we come back and record. But yeah, I think that'll do it for episode number 10. Already 10 episodes into the Hillside Club.
We've been doing
it, man. We're growing each week. It's minimal right now, but we are growing each week. We appreciate all you guys who like, subscribe, interact with all our content.
Seriously.
We see it. We read through every comment. We see who's liking our stuff, who's subscribing. We appreciate each and every one of you for doing it. Keep sharing it. Keep subscribing. We're going to keep dropping content. Summer's around the corner, warmer weather. Warmer weather means more content out of us.
We got a few things
no
coming,
doubt.
Man.
So, we're gonna keep hammering away here, but appreciate you guys tuning in to another edition of the Hillside Club. I'm Rob Cardini, alongside James Martin III. Shout out our producer Oscar in the back.
Oscar.
By this time when we record next week, NHL and NBA playoffs will be underway, so we'll be getting into that. See you guys next week. Thank you.
Thanks you guys for watching.